Hello and welcome to a walkthrough of The Dark and the Light. This is version 2 of The Dark, which there is previously a walkthrough of. In this walkthrough I will be going maybe a little bit faster, maybe a bit of a run through to get to the new parts, because there's some subtle changes in the first couple of levels of The Dark. I think it's probably worth going through right from the beginning. Now I won't give you too many hints in the early parts and too many explanations, because that will slow things down a bit, and I think it's probably going to take over 2 hours to do all this, so this could be quite a long video in which I'll probably make a couple of mistakes, so bear with me. I don't want to have to record it too many times. Okay, now you saw that the mod had been initialized by the message that appeared in the top left hand corner. So as this character is over level 40, we will run straight into the courier if we possibly can, by doing a little bit of travelling around. Courier should arrive at almost any town or city, but you never quite tell when he's going to turn up, and he hasn't turned up here. So I'm going to go on to Whiterun. Yeah, there he is.
I've been looking for you. Got something I'm supposed to do. Looks like that's it. Got to go.
Okay, I won't go into too many details on each of the notes or books that we come across. Obviously have a read of them to get a little bit of a better idea of any lore or explanation as to why things are the way they are. All we need to know is there's a warlock we need to track down, and last seen at the Bannet Mare. And he's trying to find a place called the Dark, where his ancestor had set up many puzzles and traps for the unwary.
We got warm food, warm drinks, and warm beds.
And where he thinks there's going to be plenty of treasures for him. Now, he left this scrap of paper and that key here. So he'd been to a lot of giant camps, and the Sleeping Tree camp was the last one he'd gone to, and he hasn't crossed that off, so that is where we should start hunting for him. Okay. Fast travel to Sleeping Tree camp. Now the Dark is a tricky mod. I would expect most people to die at least once. So if hello, that's not a bug that's introduced by the Dark, by the way. That one was always there. Oh, he seems okay. He's just having a bit of a jump. Okay, all right, I'll stay away. Haven't quite cut the circus act right yet. Don't want people to be watching until it's ready. Okay, so this is the Dark we're coming up to here. As you can see, it's a new marker has appeared on the map, and once you've discovered it, there you go. Then you can travel to it freely. Some people have given feedback saying this gate was locked for them, and yes it is, because this puzzle isn't actually part of the Dark. This was always here. Interestingly enough, where we are at the moment is, I think if we go to a local area, no, it doesn't say. I think it's maybe somewhere around here, is it? Yeah, this is Barley Dark Farm. This is a total coincidence. I created a mod called The Dark in an area called Barley Dark Farm. So you could say it was called Barley on the Dark, and concatenated to Barley Dark. Right, okay, so let me just talk about this puzzle here before I natter on about nothing relevant. here are the clues as to what position you should have the pillars in. That's the whale there, so there should be a whale, and that's the arrow that should be pointing to. This one here is the eagle, that should be the eagle. This one here is a snake, and that's hidden just there. And when you put those in place, you pull this handle, and that will open the gate. Now, as I said, that's not actually part of the dark. All the dark does really is add this trapdoor and creates a level below. Let's go down into the dark now. Okay, so we've got a few subtle changes here for anyone who's done this before. A few extra plaques, a few extra clues. Some things are made a little bit easier for people to guess. But this is meant to be a challenging dungeon, so it should take some time to think about the puzzles. Now let's go to the lobby first. The lobby does actually contain the first puzzle, which could be helpful later on if you complete. Davol Grownbeard was a master practitioner of the arcane arts. He never needed to sprint or swing a sword, and seldom wasted energy lifting by hand. So that's giving you some hints that how do you lift things without using your hands? Well, if you're a magician, you probably use telekinesis, and in fact there is a telekinesis spellbook here. So if he never did anything too energetic, he'll probably have found a need for magic potions and healing potions, but probably not stamina. So let's move all of those. That's a tricky one. Without knocking the blue one off. There we go. Before we go through there, I thought I'd have a quick look around here, and you'll notice there's a couple of clues. This one just is generally good advice. Yes, it's a good idea to be well lit when you go into a very dark dungeon with traps and puzzles in. This one says some pointers are there to help. It doesn't seem to mean much at the moment, but as we go in here, we might find a little sense. Now, those spears would never have been there. They're right at the back there. Are they actually pointing the way to something? And in fact they are, because behind there is a tiny chest that contains a key. Now, you don't actually need to get that key. There are other ways you could move on with that. But if you want to get the perfect score, then yes, you need to do that. Okay. Now, this is Ernald's journal, which tells you all the things that Ernald had done trying to find his ancestors' dungeon. If you're interested in the lore, just go ahead and read that. The rest of it is odds and ends. It's little toys. Okay, and let's head into the dark proper. The dark lies beyond this gate. All traps and puzzles can be tailored to the purchase requirements in taste. Please ensure you brought a guide, but companions are not permitted. Now, that tells you that the dark is actually kind of a shop front, a display of what Alvard could do. It was never really designed as a place of rest for anyone important, or even a store of treasures. And that's a pretty pointless little comment that says you can go either way. Now, he didn't get very far, as we can see. Let's search him and see. He actually had a key, but I already had that key. That's the way he got in. Alvard's amulet. That's the important one. and we get a dark score point for that. There are a total of 29 dark score points to get in the dark and the light, which is up from the original dark. And you will find the Alvard's Amulet is a helpful item to be wearing most of the time, as it gives you little hints as you go to certain areas. I think I talked as well. Chest. Well, nice. Torch. Okay, here's the first puzzle room, and in it, the first puzzle we've got is located desktop puzzle. The note will give you clues as to the location. As I said, I'm not going to get too much detail as the logic of that. Follow it in the first walkthrough if you like. We'll go into more detail on other stuff when we get to the new parts. Right, can I remember the combination? Yeah, that was it. And there's a second combination here, as the piece of paper said. So it's going to be putting it down. Am I getting that right? Yeah, I did. Okay. That's our first hint from the amulet. This one's as easy as ABC. Let's see the light arrows at the moment. So what this means is, there's another little hint here. Seems obvious for those who read and write. ABC is an order. So each of these items is named such their first letter reflects letters of the alphabet. So let's get the apple first, the B second, cabbage third, dragonfly fourth, ebony shield fifth, soap, gold, honey, and we're there. Okay, both those two puzzles done. Now, if we come here, there's a couple of these ugly gargoyles around, and they'll do a deal, and that normally means there's another way you could get past without using the gargoyle. But if you're willing to pay your way through because you haven't found the solution, then that's fine, you can do that too. And I actually have the key because I got that from the previous puzzle. Now, what we got there was an Elven Short Bow, which is a very fast bow that doesn't cause too much damage. It says 23, but that's because I've got quite high skills. My Daedric bow is 407, for example. Let's just try it. You can see how much faster that draws. It's a handy thing to have in this dungeon. Now, one thing I did sort of notice there, but didn't pick up, was there's some light arrows hidden up here. That's something particular to the dark. These light arrows will cast a certain light as they fly. And over the old version, these are a nicer sort of white colour now. They'll quite happily stick into earth or wood, and can light a room really quite well for you. It'll last probably about 20 seconds, and if you pick them up before that 20 seconds is up, then they're ready back where they were before, and ready to fire off again. Another hint: this place is cursed for the ill-equipped, so equipment has to be right. And in fact, this is one of the harder parts of the game, so I'm going to do a quick save first. Oh God, are we on 7 now? sure they don't come up. They did on me a couple of times earlier. I'm learning. 3 more left. 2 more left. Is that all? Yay! At last, I've done it 6th time. Was the charm? Okay, there is more to find here, although generally these are quite empty rooms. This little lever here is 1 of 3, and as you pull it, it disappears, and another one will in turn appear. So that might mean you have to search the rooms 3 times to find them all. That's the second one there. There's 1 in each room. Now the third one will have appeared. And that's there. Also, bloody books are a thing in the dark and the light. So try and keep as many of those as you can. They might come in useful later on. Okay. This is a huge amount of treasure that's just thrown at you. But given it took me 6 or 7 dives to get there, yeah, I think I deserve it. I'm going to leave most of it there. Because not necessary for the walkthrough. Now you have to replace the blessed silver bow there to open the gate. And go back on. Right, I'll do a quick save now because I don't want to do that all again. And you don't want to see it all again. So let's move on. Now this room appears to be quite empty with a lot of oil on the floor. But this is really a bit of a fake trap. Nothing very special going on here. If I grab that and I can run for it, I'll avoid all of the falling stones. Although a couple more will fall in a minute. Oh, that's close. These have been pepped up in power a bit. If they hit you, they may well kill you. Okay. You can see there's 2 skulls there. The skull rating tells you how difficult it's going to be. So hopefully this one won't be too hard. The maze of doors. Okay. Now, I know the way through. So I'm going to take the shortest route. It says missing doors means you're on the right track. Yeah, the correct path through always has missing doors. So if you see a missing door, you know you actually are on the shortest path through. Now, I know there's someone rather nasty hiding behind the door. I'm playing on legendary level, as I said, so this is combat should be taken a bit seriously. And there's another bloody book there. Right. As I say, I know the route. So I'll go through here. What's slightly frustrating is the doors close behind you, which makes it a little bit harder to work out where you are. And if you go to the map, you'll see that the entire area is hidden. In fact, that would show a question mark if you fill up the whole map. This isn't actually too hard a maze to get through. You really just have to stay on the left side, and that's me all the way through. This is 4 skulls, so pretty deadly. The dead pool. Okay, I'm going to do a save here. Okay, Now, I screwed up a bit, so I've edited out the last couple of attempts on this bit. But I'll try and do it the quickest and easiest way. First of all, we have to find out where these 3 fishies are in the water. Because we don't want to be in the water while they're still alive. No, that missed. Oh, the other one's hiding. Let's check again. There's one. He's moved. Where is he? Quite. Okay, where was he again? Side of that pillar, which would explain why I'm not hitting him. These beams aren't for nothing. They lead us to buttons which open 5 gates that we need to open before we can go further in. Quite tricky over these. might think, oh, having fallen in here, that's it for me. But no, there is a way out. Gonna see if I can show you that. Now, now I've killed those, I'm actually going to put on Alvar's amulet. It'll give me hints. Down here, I think I found the button that opens the underground gate. It's above the water on the pillar farthest from it. A helpful pointer gives its location. I'm caught here by this damn giant slaughterfish. Yes, yeah. So he failed, but at least he found where the button was. And if we swim around with a little bit of light here, we'll find that's the gate. So it's the corner furthest from there. And that would be over here. See that one of the pointers there is pointing towards what looks like a button there. Let's use bow. There we go. Gate is now open. And if we carry on up, that's our way on. But there is an alternative route, so if we were to actually go down from here, we'll find there's another gate there, just above it. In here. Well, there's a ring in there. Now that ring's quite useful because that will let us breathe in the water. Yeah. Random treasure. Head up here. Don't think it's cheating, by the way, to use the map from time to time. It helps us this particular map. See here that door, that gate is wide open. If I hit that tripwire, which I think I'm almost certain to do, then what will happen is this gate will close. But if I've already closed it, then what happens is it actually opens. So it's running very quickly up there, trying to avoid all the falling rocks that are triggered at that moment. Now I recommend actually doing a save before you get to that point. It's a little tricky to get right. Okay. Sometimes jumping before moving is the easiest, you know. Let you put a save at that point. I can't quite remember how far I got through this, but I don't think so. A bit further than that. that was the pressure plate that opened the gate underwater. Now, that last one there. Fifth gate, and I think that is now all of them. Yes, that's all of them. Great. Quick save. Dark score point awarded. Now, this lever opens a gate far back, not for long. We're not going to trigger that yet. That'll open a gate in the first puzzle room. Where does the circle end? Now, we walked through this poem in the last walkthrough, so I won't go through that in detail. I'm just going to go straight for the solution. So we've got another gargoyle. Continue to climb that. Now this is the trap, but last time I didn't set it off. I think this time I'm just going to go ahead and set it off. Okay. So you can see what it's like. You're going to try to avoid stairs as best you can. I'm not even sure. Did that even avoid? No, I didn't avoid that one. It's not a kid, at least. Okay, and here, similarly, we have another trap. Yeah, obviously quite a lot of boulders fall into our path. So I'll do a quick save there. Can I try and hide away? I think I'm okay. I think I made it. That's a lot of boulders. Okay. So there is a way to get back into the maze. Show you where we are. That will allow us a slightly shorter route through after pulling the lever than going the long route through the maze and having to cross a dead pool again. I'm going to take that route to go back to the beginning. Let's see. Over those. I think I'm going to trigger the trap again. Nope. Going to pull that trap so it doesn't go off again. I'm doing the run. Then that might make all the difference between making and not. Okay, gate is open. Run back. Now, I'll give you a reasonably long amount of time, but that maze is quite complicated. So. And I've got lots of boulders to jump over. seconds left. Plenty of time left. That'll get us Alvar's boots, give us a dark score point. And we'll get out of here before that's getting closer to it. Way. Yes, it is. Okay, so that's the end of the first level. Now we're going to go down into the dark second. Secret light recipes of Alvar Death Dealer. Gives us recipe to making light arrows and bright torches. And the bright torches are good. They do last a fair bit longer and are a fair bit brighter. If a bit green. Let's take that. Alvar's arrows. Go play with the rabbits before the boat ride if I were you. Cave of Horrors. Rabbit Warren. Okay. Let's go and check out the Rabbit Warren. Now, at the bottom of each of these holes is nasty spikes, which are probably not going to survive, but... This one here actually has water in it. Other ones, not so much. Okay, wasn't expecting that. I think I must have just clipped the edge. First. So this is the route down, this one here, chucking a light arrow in, and make sure you don't clip the edges of it. You really shouldn't. Now here we will, in fact I normally recommend slowly walking through. It seems to minimise the amount of chance you're going to hit, although I did get hit there. So that's a skeleton of the Jarl's son, was mentioned in the stories. But over here we do have a rather unfortunate bunny. And an Easter egg, which we'll look at a bit later on. Okay. From here, bit of a combat coming up. I think I'm going to try and be as archery as I can be. Maybe if I throw a light arrow up, will reveal what's hiding in the darkness. Yeah, it's a lot of skeletons, isn't it? but I can't be bothered. Let's pick up all the items here, and you might have noticed we've picked up some bright light arrows, which are much like light arrows, but brighter and will last for a little longer. Quick save. And here we can make some bright torches. Add to the components we just picked up. Okay. I was going to it's a favourite. Assign it to 7. So yeah, yep, you can see that. Cast light a little bit further, a little bit greener. Some of the horrors here are very real. Okay. One little tip we can give here is fire a bright light arrow onto your boat, and it'll follow you around just like a torch. And you can see, obviously, that's not real, and neither is that. But something's just made that noise. Also, you might be able to find the spot where the bright arrow is actually embedded, and if so, you can pick it up before it runs out. Right. Convoluted. Right now it seems. Okay, now there is a bit of a nasty coming up here. Nice getting on a boat under these spiders' webs. Let's pick up again. Burn the lips. Some of them is a little bit. Pick up more statues. Can I pick that up again? Yeah, okay. Okay, there seems to be a passageway on here. But I'm going to catch up with the boat again. Okay. Spiders. Worth checking the spiders. See if they've got anything that one in them. Some of them. Black spider venom, which is quite useful. Things. There's the boat. Still got my bright light arrow in it. I think it's just one. Let's see what I'm getting into here. So, that's another. unbelievably lucky. But hardly affected them at all because it's only a light arrow. Yeah, goodness sake. Hear their footsteps. Is that the one that's got an arrow in him? Yeah, it was. Hopefully we're past that. What's that? Something's working up over there. Oh, a very big spider. Okay, I think I'm going to keep quiet now. Go back to sleep. Okay. That's probably for the best. There's a hawker's head again. So dark, the lights hardly make any difference. Something in the distance there. That's our way out. So spooky. That's the exit, but I have a feeling. If I were yeah. Yeah, there's a few of those around. Better not just swim for it. Not quite yet. Oh, we back to the spider again. Here we are. going to get angry. At least he doesn't see me. That's good. Bob. Yes, that spider is called Bob. And I wish I had time to explain why. I just... Okay, we're going the right direction now. This is good. Probably be able to jump off soon. Yeah, it's close. Let's pick it up again. Okay. Yep, made it. Okay, made it through there. Now what do we have? Lots of treasure. Oh no, it isn't lots of treasure. It's all fake. It's only a show dungeon after all. Okay, what we do have though is 2 sets of shelves with arrows apparently pointing away. Those are light arrows. I can't actually get to them. That might be a clue. So let's have a look. Maze Pound is driving me crazy. I keep coming back here. Sure, there must be some clue somewhere in this room. That's a different path. And oh, we've got another bloody book. I'll have that. Calm down, you lot. Right, so what these mean is if you take this route, which is played out below in the items on the shelves, you'll get somewhere. As there are 2 routes placed there, one of them in fact goes to an item, this one here, and one of them is the exit, that one there. The dizzying maze. Yes, this is meant to be particularly disorienting. Now, you could make it a little bit easier by placing an item in the room, and if you look at your map, you can actually see this. But not all of the maze at the moment, because it hasn't shown us it all yet. So I'm going to follow the path on the right to the item. Right, left, right, forward. There we go, Alvard's robes. Let's go back. So forward. Then it would be left, right, because we're going the other direction. Right. And yes, we're out again. Okay. So the other route is forward, right, left, left. So forward, right. I'm taking that to mean right, left, right. And we're out. Okay. Now then, get a hint here. There's worse things than getting the answer wrong. Okay, so we have to stand under here and then answer how many horrors were harmless. Now I know there were 8 harmless horrors in there, but I'm going to put the number in incorrectly because I also know there's something quite good down there, as the hint would tell us. Oh. No. Now, this will be quite hard. It's time to put the spikes at the bottom. There we go. Perfect. Okay. I'll take down some spikes. This is good. Now, unlike the dark and the light doesn't have the crafting boots here. It has alchemy boots. Right, and the puzzle here is still the same. You need to close all the doors so the water fills the room. And you rise. In fact, you don't rise, you have to swim up, but that still works. Always swim directly up if you can, because those spikes can still get you if you hit them at a bit of an angle. Okay, I'll swap on the water. And we're back here again. So we get another chance to guess it. Sweet. Okay. Here we have a bloody book. Again, slightly different from the original Dark. And now we're going to go to the Darkest Dark, which is the new area. Okay. What's that in the dark? Very scary skeleton. Seemingly taking up the whole room, and on the back of its head is a number, 665. Okay, this room is very dark. Let's see if we can fire a couple of bright light arrows around. Okay, there's another number there, 000. That's helpfully wedged itself in the ceiling. So this is somewhere where you can put the numbers in. 665 was it? Yes, code 1 found. Okay, so obviously we have to collect a number of codes. Let's see what else we have in the room. So that's probably a way out of this area. The spider web. And it's 5 skulls, which obviously means it's getting quite challenging. It would do a save, but there's auto saves in case. Like battle arrow. So that is much like the original light arrows, but causes a fair bit more damage and is fast moving. So the kind of thing that might be good to stick into an enemy in the dark so you can see where they are. They can't hide from you. Oh, another. Oh, big fall. We have some nasties apparently. Okay. Harvesting frostbite spider venom. I need that. Potion of Chorus essence. It's 80% of poison damage for 60 seconds. So that makes us feel. Plus the fact this is called a spider web, they're going to be poisonous spiders, aren't they? Okay. What do we have here? Someone's left something. I'm regretting following the tunnel down now. I loosed a light arrow to the north to see the path. There might be a way out to the north. But the eyes, so many eyes. I'm leaving my kit here and making a run for it, but I'll take that book I found just in case. If I can only reach that lever or the strange plate on the wall, maybe I'll have a chance, or else you'll find my remains in those webs. Okay. No, it's just stuff. Okay, yes, we've got a lot of spiders. Okay, and I think it's time I took that potion of core essence. Here we go. Let's use a light battle around. So we can see. That seems to be a mark on the wall there. I'm going to aim at that. Okay. Well, that's sorted. That is a lot of spiders in. That seems to have damaged quite a few of them, quite a lot. There's still some left. Okay. Potion's still good. There's a lever. Let's call that lever. Triggered it again. Okay, that's great. Just one left now. Maybe again. He's dead. Yes, they've all fallen. Okay. That's a lot of black spiders. Oh, I don't know what happened to these ones. I'll have that venom, thank you very much. Okay. This, I can only presume, is the corpse of that chap. But he's left a bloody book behind. Okay. I'll take that. Is there anything else to see? Chests. There's something particularly exciting in these chests. What's that? And a number 132. Now we were looking for codes before, so I should write that down in case I forget. Okay, well that is clearly the way on. I think we've got everything in here. It's going to take a little bit of nimble jumping to hopefully I'm careful. Maybe I'm not careful. There we go, let's go onto there. Hop onto there. Onto there. Onto there. Hop onto there. Onto there. Onto the last one. And there we're up. Okay. Phew. Right. And we have some special boots to go with our normal boots. Path of the Storm Cloak. Right. Okay. Now, yes, these are all the holes, aren't they? So, the ones which the storm cloaks are the ones we should jump on. So, I think, is that winter hole? Yeah, that one's good. Is that Marcos? What's the bear one? I think that's the main storm cloak one. And is that Riften? Yeah, that's good. These ones we already know are good. Oh, we've got another code. 267. is a very giant skeleton. 2, 6, 7. Yeah, code 3 found. 3 of the codes have been found. Nothing's activated yet, but presumably that means there's more codes to be had. Marksman's Cup. Okay, so there's 4 of these pillows with plaques on them. So we have several different games, and putting the handle sets the game. You come up here, press that button, then you play it. Reach level 3 in all games to open the way on. Complete all levels for additional prize. Okay. What else we have here is ball from the top left corner to the bottom right. How hard could that be? Well, let's see. The button resets the level. I've done this before. Set things. Press that button again. Oh, that's not the way we wanted to go. Let's try again. That looks like it might be the right way. There we go, reward unlocked. Fantastic. Secret simple recipes. You can make a woodcutter's axe, a pickaxe, and practice arrows. Now that's going to be very useful if you've got an archery game to play. 3 branch issues always handy. So obviously we can chop as much firewood as we like here. Grab some of this firewood. Now, interestingly enough, that's a longbow, which, because it's pretty low on damage, it ends up being quite a fast bow to pull. So if I compare the Daedric bow, that takes quite a long time to pull to its fullest, but if you use the longbow, you can see how much faster that is. In an archery competition, that's probably helpful. But we have the Elven Short Bow, which is even faster. Now, for an archery competition, you probably want some practice arrows, so you can make quite a few of those. Could make an awful lot more. But I'm actually not going to do the competition yet, because although that does get us further on, we've caught quite a lot of those. codes already. And there is another little way on down here. Should get us another one. Arrows. Okay, well, we've got another code there, 444. Let's write that down. And, oh dear. Yeah, okay. He looks big and nasty. Let's get ourselves ready for that. Oh, missed him. It's got him. Another bloody book, and the Dark Animunculus Key. Okay, back into the darkest dark. And we're yes, we're back into the marksman's cup. So we've got one more code. Which I'm just going to put straight in here. Okay. Let's open the dark scroll board. Now, there is more to do down here, but I'm going to go straight on and come back to that a little bit later. Now, simply go through the open door to your right to return to the lobby, but that is mysteriously locked. Not open at all. So let's move on to the light. Wow, it's all very different, and we don't need a bright torch. I won't actually need Alvard's amulet, as I know there's nothing that it gives hints on because we're no longer in the dark. Or is there? Oh, well, let's keep it on. Let's put those on. Okay, so we are somewhere totally new. Let's have a look. We're on a small island chain, just 2 or 3 islands, with a few locations on. So let's explore. Okay, we've got crabs. We've got Khajiit.
How can I assist?
He's just a
Take a look.
merchant. But he does sell things like light arrows and red torches, amongst other things.
May you walk on warm sands.
And if we're running out of space, there's a chest there. These little fellas are not actually that aggressive, but they do look quite tasty. So. Start for fun. No, that's not good over the top. It's just used totally ordinary dragon bone greatsword. I think I hit him a little too hard. He's gone. Oh, that one's gone as well. Alright, let's not try to bury them into the ground. Let's see Vegeta's worried there might be a bit of a combat going on. I don't think that's King crab meat. Okay. And what do we have here? Salmon? No, they're bass. Okay. What's going on? Oh, they're looks like that's where they've landed. Oh, coins too. Okay. Khajiit's been fishing. Let's just take his well-gotten gains. And well, looks like he's been cooking here as well. So we can make a new chowder, fish and crab chowder, which is a sort of slow heal for health and also magicka. Okay, fair enough. These potatoes, I haven't got many of those. Plus we have more crabs. We really need to kill all the crabs. Don't really want to be responsible for genocide. Okay. Right, let's go and explore other places around here. Gonna get a little bit of archery ready. Not sure what we're going to come across. Well, I am clicking before, but I think I recognise a Spriggan when I see one. Chest. Nothing very special about that. Oh, don't need that. What do we have here then? Burned village. And some oddly green rocks that look somewhat out of place. Maybe I'll read something later. Looks like it's promising us something here. Docks. The night docks discovered. Now, what we have here is a big water wheel attached to a ship. Not attached actually. It's rocking about. Without touching it. Turn navigation wheel. Ship is not powered up. So somehow we need to power up the ship. There's a water wheel there, but there's no moving water. Something for us to work out maybe later. what have we got there? He's a big one. And apparently quite docile. Okay, let's leave him. You're free! He's not doing anything. Okay, and we've got our shack over there. Set that. Along what's almost a road. Pathway. It's quite overgrown, doesn't it? And we're in an old shack. Which has potatoes, so we can make more chowder. It's probably not that important. Okay, down here we've got an arcane enchanter and alchemy lab, so we can. Aha! Oh, lots of things to look at here. The dark enlarged lobby key. Now, we had a locked door that went through to the lobby, but we couldn't use a key that size. So like a Harvard skeleton. Ah, so that's where he finally laid to rest, was it? Alvard's Circlet. Alvard's Circlet reduces the casting cost of all spells. Okay, and it looks rather fetching too with that skull motif. Alvard's notes. I have made many fortunes from the puzzles and traps for the highborn in Skyrim, though it baffles me why they think them necessary. However, this does allow me to continue my researches, and to that end I've come to this small island far off the coast of elsewhere. Ah, that's where we are. Here we have made a discovery. The small high rock island appears to hide a Dwemer ruin of some great interest. In it we have discovered complex machinery whose purpose, operation and workings may take some time to discern. Why they chose to travel such a distance to build these machines is hard to say. Perhaps they consider them intrinsically dangerous, or maybe just feared they may fall into the wrong hands. The infuriating rock troll on top of the cliffs has blocked the waterfall. How am I going to power my ship now? Okay, so there was a waterfall that powered the ship. That's important. I seem to remember recently reading about something that could be crafted to help with that situation just before I slept the other day, but I can't think what for the moment. It will come to me. Glad I've got that hidden store in the village. I'll probably need it. Okay, there's a hidden store in the village. I really must do something about that misbegotten creature. He's forever causing mischief with his green rocks. And we did see some green rocks, didn't we? I may have made a miscalculation. After my experiments on the High Rock Island, some of my test subjects have broken loose with vengeance on their minds. They've already destroyed my workers' village. Ah, that maybe explains why it's such a ruin. I'll take refuge here for the moment and plan my next move. But maybe he never left. Right, he was reading something by his bed, and that is a book right by his bed, so... Simple... secret explosive recipes. Okay, that's the recipe for the bright light arrows. Explosive arrows. These powerful arrows will put off the most committed of adversaries and may even cause a cave-in for badly supported excavation works. Dwarven smithing skills and a good enchanting ability will be needed. 10 dwarven arrows, a filled grand soul gem, 5 pieces of charcoal, 5 fastest. Now that might make you think you need to have those skills to progress, but if we explore a little bit further, we might yet find alternative solutions. Oh dear, we've got 3 dragons! Everything we've got is actually there. Potion of oh, they're not actually full-size dragons. They're dwarf dragons. Doesn't make them any easier to hit. What's a dwarf dragon got on? Chicken breast. Okay. Everything tastes like chicken. More chicken breast. Yes. Quite a dragon bone or scales you might want. Okay, now there's supposed to be something secret around here somewhere. Let's see what we can find. I think there's a hidden cellar. Above was a pet, but it's really hard to know how it got quite so big. Okay. Here we have fire salts, charcoal, arrows. Okay. And those are the ingredients needed to make explosive arrows. Had a bright light battle arrow, which is even higher damage than the light battle arrow, and even brighter. So again, that might come in handy in combat at some point. Okay, we're back out again. Now, we've been talking about trying to understand what that rock troll at the top of the rock has been up to, blocking the waterfall. So let's go and see if we can work our way up to the top somehow. Doesn't seem to be an easy path. That sounds like is there a way up? Almost feels like I'm up there. Jump, 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 jump. Yes, I'll come up. There he is. Okay. Oh, that gets through. Okay, so here is a small lake. Yes, there's quite a few birds flying around. I don't know whether they're actually Ystrs. Very white. Black holes. Two Easter eggs. Now let's have a look at that block. So yes, his green rocks. So he's blocked that with his green rocks. And someone has left some explosive arrows here. So it seems that might be the way on. Okay, well, let's see if we can hit it with an explosive arrow. Now, before I do that, I just remembered sometimes my setup, I don't know whether it's everyone's setup, but my setup can crash to desktop at this point. So I'm going to do a quick save. So if that does happen, I can recover from it. Boulder destroyed, waterfall unclogged. Okay, so the water level's gone low, and a waterfall has started. If we look down there, yes, there's the water wheel is now turning. The ship is now fully powered up. Okay. Now, alternatively, if I wanted to, there is over in the Khajiit village an anvil, so I could have made the explosive arrows there. In fact, I'll just go over there now and make a few. Oh, this isn't the right place to get up. There we go. Okay, so that's how I would have made them if I needed to. Right, let's fast travel there. Okay, well, it's getting quite dark, isn't it? Okay, so let's go to the navigation wheel. And we're going to cast off my rock. And there we go. Fully working ship. Fantastic. You can hear some clockwork going on underneath, so clearly Alvard was a little bit ahead of his time. That's a beautiful starry night. One of the moons is out. Yes, that is quite a high rock. Still on board, so we'll go back to games. Here we go. It's getting quite dark. Shadow. Docks discovered. Fantastic. Right, we'll make our way up here. Some very precariously placed ladders there. This is quite foggy. If there were Dwemer here. Did the dwarves leave something in front? That is a very, very big giant. Some of the machinery is still running. Though this seems destroyed. And that's blocked. What do we have here? Reductor. Source. Place things. Some machinery hard at work. Reductor destination. Looks like a lot of the pipes have broken and a lot of steam is escaping. Let's see if we can stop all the steam from escaping whilst not blocking the steam from getting through. So I think turning that valve off. Yes, that stopped that one. Doesn't stop anything though, so I'm guessing that might be the middle pipe, which we want. So turning back on again. So this means this one here maybe should be turned off. So stop that leak there. What drinks do we have? One over there. There's two here. Just stop that. That one still. Valve's closed, could be. Valve's closed. Got one more there. I can't hear any more steam escaping. Failed. Okay, but at least it didn't say there was no power. Okay, so I think what we need to do is put that very large key we found into the reductor source. successfully reduced. The dark score point recorded. And we have the dark lobby key there. Okay. Now there isn't much else of interest around here. It's all collapsed and crushed. Let's go through to the lights. That's actually wait a while till it's morning again. Looks like there's a couple more crabs playing there. Okay, it's a bit misty, but the sun's rising. Don't need that. Let's put it the right way. Oh, it's bad. Okay, well, we're back on the document. Set up again. Although this could equally be done by just fast traveling, if that's your preference. remember what Alvard wrote. The rock troll was putting these green rocks everywhere, and we know what can destroy a green rock. Explosive arrow. So let's see what we can find under there. It's a bit awkward going into here. But in here is a chest, and that is the last of Alvard's sets. A dark skull point has been awarded. Now, I think there's a couple of chests hidden around, which have got logs and ends in, but that's basically everything from the light. So, let's go back inside. Dark. Okay, so this is the dark scoreboard. Now there was some problems with the dark and the light oracle, the dark oracle, because of the way the creation kit handles integers and floats. It's getting a bit technical there, but what we had to do was split it into two separate codes, and you now need to type in both of those codes to find a hint for any remaining things you may have missed. It shouldn't be too much more effort, and as soon as this version goes live, which should be today, no one should have any problems, probably by the time you've seen this a long time ago. Okay, so as you can see, that's 28 out of 29, so I'm missing one thing, and that's what I said I was going to go back for later. So let's go back for that now. And this is the Archery Cup, the Marksman's Cup. There we go. Okay, so the first game is target shoot. Shoot the targets as they appear. Now, the you might even tell us again if I put it back on. Can you tell us about that? Reach level 3 in all games to open the way on. Complete all levels for additional prize. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and complete all the levels and all the games, which is going to take a little while. So you may want to jump ahead in the game. If you want some tips as to how to play it as I'm playing it, then by all means just listen on. I'm going to go for iron arrows. I've got absolutely loads of those. I won't run out halfway through. I could keep on making this practice arrows as I showed you earlier, but you can use a remarkable amount of arrows getting through these games. Okay, now the first game, just shoot the targets as they appear. There's a countdown on the right there, as you can see. When it gets to 0, this game will be complete, and the hardness will increase. And a total of 4 levels of hardness for each game. for game 1 increased to 2. One tip is to make sure you always have an arrow drawn, so you can loose it immediately you're aimed at the target. Sounds a bit obvious, but there is some delay in drawing. Target getting smaller there. Now I've noticed in my version, it might be to do with patching or possibly just the underlying Havoc engine. Sometimes these targets are rescaled. You saw there's a couple of small ones appeared. Although it's always the same mechanism, on very rare occasions it forgets to scale the collision block to the size of the target. So if you find an arrow making sort of scattering noise like it just hits brick behind and you're pretty sure it was aimed at it correctly, then it might not have rescaled, and that might mean if you were to aim as if it were a smaller target, like that one there, you're more likely to hit. It doesn't happen very often, so there might be an occasional game you lose because of it, but generally you'll probably miss a few games anyway. I do all the time. There's actually a total of 5 games that can be played here, and 4 levels for 4 of them, and 1 of them doesn't have a level system. The first 4 games can be selected, but when you completed all 4 of them, you'll get your rewards, and an additional game can be played onwards from there. Okay, so all levels are now complete for game 1. So we come down here. Game 2 is Ystr Says. It shoots the targets in the same order as Ystr. Now, this one is basically a Simon Says, and I often find my memory isn't good enough or fast enough to remember them all. And let's see how I do today. Now, there will be 4 targets in a row to remember this time. 2, 3, 4. You might notice I'm using the Elven Short Bow. That's because it's the fastest bow I have. although if someone hasn't managed to find it, they might find the longbow is a good alternative. Right. Do that. 3. Okay, let's get a branch out. 1, 2, 3. So if you happen to hit the one ahead or get the wrong one, you still have another chance to hit the right one. Okay. Right, one more. Okay, last level. Now it will get hard now, so 6 in a row, I've got to remember. 3 times. 2. Yay. Okay, so we'll do it 2 more times then. Okay. One more. If you get it correct, it will make a thudding noise quite loud next to you. If you get it wrong, it doesn't, and you'll hear possibly a little sound of rolling thunder as a failure comes through. But I think that was all the games for this, wasn't it? Yes, all else can be for this games. So, okay, we're going to move on to the third one. The third one is... Bring the score down to 0 before the timer runs out. Green targets reduce the score, reds increase it. Yeah, that was rather quick. Now, this is a little cheat. You can actually hit 2 green targets in a go if you're very, very fast. Not always, but sometimes. I'm not doing it very well at all. And you'll get 10 points off for a green, 5 points off. 10 points off for a small green, 5 points off for a large green, and the reds will take a similar amount off. If anyone's really interested, I could do some work and make the archery competition a sort of spin-off, a sort of standalone thing. There's lots of games that could be done with a setup like this. Okay, next one. Too slow. gain 3, increases 3. So it can get harder. For some bizarre reason, I'm not sure if it's just me, but it feels like every time I hit the large target, I get a little bit more time to hit the small target. Then if I hit the small target first, then try to hit the large target. That makes no sense at all, but it's not way to code it. Okay, one more left. That one felt like it was on target. That might be one of those scaling issues. Those little targets have got very, very small indeed. Okay, great. That's good for game 3. Now then, game 4. Shoot the rabbit. Shoot the moving green target, but don't hit the reds. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get this. Of course, if you feel you're going too slow, you can always shoot a red just to end it. Level 1 I should be able to do okay. It will get harder. Now, because I've got to level 2 in all the games, the way on is now opening. But I want to get the further prize, so I'm going to carry on for another 2 games. Tub's got a little smaller. Fire it in here fast enough. Might just do it. That's got it. Okay. Now the hardest one. Good concentration for this. So I'll probably keep it quite quiet. Just got it. Two more. Got it. One more. Look at it. Yes, that's it. Wow. I think I managed to do that without playing one game. That's a lot better than I was doing earlier. Okay, great. Right, wow. Jeweled Archery Cup. There you go. That was worth it, wasn't it? Fantastic. But, if you come up here, there is a 5th game. And what this is, the rules of this game are, you are shown all of the scoring targets, and you can only shoot the scoring targets to get a score. Now I can't hit them at this point, but now I've got to remember where they were and hit the right. Was it that one? Not sure. At the moment this only has 1 level, and it probably deserves to have a few more, because it'd be quite good to have a sort of, well, here's a whole bunch of different targets you could shoot. Try to remember where they are. As you get further on, the red ones will be more and more frustrating. Okay. And the only purpose of doing this game is going to become apparent in a minute. 54 seconds. By the way, one other point. Oh, hold on. There we go. End of game. And now, what's that there? Oh, that's interesting. Is that another code? Yes, I think it might. Okay, we'll write that one down. And now, I completed everything here, so it is time to move on. Right. Now I know there's a few people out there who hate mazes. It would be foolish to go beyond without a compass. Right. This is a 5-skull maze coming up here. The Maze of Newness. Right. Let's have a look. Skeleton. Last words. I've fallen twice now. My legs are broken and blood is flowing out of me. I can find no clue as to what the correct path is in the maze. If there is one, I must already passed it. So, if he's already passed it, it must be in here. And in here, we got nothing. Nothing at all. Except the plaque. A Maze of Newness. And the extra hint there would be useful. You must know the points of the compass. So what can you define from that, discern rather from that title? I think this might be the path. Newness, okay. What does he mean by fall? Okay. I think that's where he fell from. So let's go north. Let's go east. Let's go west. I'm going to roll myself. North. East. South. And south. Okay, and actually, yeah, we are through. Now there's another one of those friendly, helpful pointers pointing to a number on the ceiling, 365. Okay, and we have some Enchanting Boots. Enchantments are 5% more powerful, much the same as the smithing boots and the alchemy boots. Right. Where are we here again? Okay, we've got 2 more codes to put in. 906 and 365. All codes found. A hidden door was unlocked. Now, we're not actually told where that hidden door is, but people like hiding behind waterfalls. Right, what do we have here? This is looking a little bit like the technology we saw in the lights in High Rock Cave. Let's have a look at the notes on the provider. This highly delicate machine must be treated with the utmost of care. The 3 chests can combine into the one. Place the enchanted items to combine equally amongst the smaller chests and count out a bloody book for each part. Then simply pull the lever. Items must be of a similar nature to combine successfully. That's the destination one. These are the 3 source ones. What do we have here? We have another bloody book. So if you've been following closely and got all the books, you should have 7 like me. Now, what does that mean? It said count out a bloody book for every part. Now we should think about what could be combined here. The 3 chests can combine into the one. Place the enchant items to combine equally amongst the smaller chest. and count out a bloody book for each part. Items will be a similar nature to combine successfully. Well, the only things we've really found of a similar nature are the boots. We have the Archery boots. Oops, this is all I mean. We have the Enchanting Boots. And we have the Smithing Boots. Now, it said we need to count out a bloody book for each part. Now, boots have 2 parts, so you need to count out 2 books for each set of boots. And if you've got every bloody book, that means you'll still have one left. Now then, let's activate lever. Items successfully combined. And then here we now have the crafting Hobnail Boots. Now, what they have is twice the magical power of the individual ones, and they combine all of the alchemy, enchanting, and smithing, crafting additions. There we go. Dark score point awarded. And that was my last dark score point. So. Okay, so now going to the scoreboard. Well done, your score is 29 out of 29. Now you could go to the Oracle for hints, but you'd only find that it said well done. It does accept feedback, and I read all the feedback that people might put through the Dark Oracle. But if you've got any comments, please do check Nexus Mods. There's some conversation there, and any comments below would be read, and if you've got any questions, hopefully I'll have answers for them. Okay, full marks. You deserve a little something extra. Turn around. Yeah, I'm going to just stay over there. It's my first rodeo. Okay, Elven Silver Ingot. Thank you for your visit. Don't forget all traps and puzzles will be tailored to the purchaser's requirements and taste. Discounts available when purchasing more than 3 at once. Yes, well. Just place your guide amulet in the basket by the exit and mind your head on the way out. So, he's a little bit evil, isn't he? Because this is clearly another last trap. Oh, it nearly got me. I thought I jumped that. Okay. Right. Now then, we should actually have a look at the Dark Quest, because this hasn't actually been completed yet. So, wow, back into the real world again. And if we look at this, it does say I should find a way to destroy the trapdoor and cave in the new entrance, sealing up the dark forever, as the Jarl requested. So you probably have worked out from earlier how you would do that, and that's with an explosive arrow. So I think there we go. The dark is now complete and sealed up. Nothing more to do except walk amongst the butterflies, catch them. Except maybe to have a look at all the things that we've got from the dark. So we have a set of 6 items. And if we turn them all on, we become invisible. And that's not just for a small time, that's indefinitely until you either open a door, unlock something, interact with something, attack something. And at that point you can just put everything back on again and it becomes enacted again. In fact, I think if I were, for example, to favourite Alvard's robes and then say, let's just make that one for the moment. If I take it off, I momentarily am setting Amanda away. But if you were to, you can almost immediately go invisible again. Let's have a look at what each of those items does there. Right, so the constant invisibility from Alvard's robes is complemented by a magic resistance of 25%, which is pretty good. The boots that Alvard's got are muffled, so he moves silently. So you're silent and invisible with all of those items on. And carrying capacity increases, which is of course good. Alvard's circlet takes 10% off all spell costs, which could certainly be useful. And Alvard's gloves. What else do they do? Those are all. Yeah, those are all Alvard's circlets. Alvard's gloves increase the damage and decrease the cost of destruction spells, which again can be very useful. There aren't many things that increase the destruction, the damage of destruction spells. I think that you can do it through potions, and I think Shaladar's writings. You can get some scrolls that do it briefly, but this would be an ongoing effect, so it would be very useful. A lot of resist magic there. Alvard's amulet increases poison resistance by 50%. And Alvard's ring lets you swim underwater. So yes, an interesting. Well, I mean, you always swim underwater, and breathe underwater. Okay, so what remains? I wonder how close I could get to those giants before they notice. Apparently he spotted me then. Okay, where are we? Let's just go back home then and look at everything else we've got. Okay. Oh, I'm invisible. Explains that. Okay, so I have a crafting Hobnail Boots. Let's put those on. Now, the crafting Hobnail Boots add 10% to alchemy, enchanting, and smithing, making anything crafted 10% more powerful. That's pretty good, and boots are something that would never have that enchantment on normally. Now, there is a set that comes from the DLC, Azidal's set, which if you've got 4 or more of them on, then you'll get an additional 10%, I think, to enchanting. And I think I have them in here somewhere. The rings, that is. Yeah, those 2. Am I carrying too much? I'm probably carrying too much. That's, what interesting miscellaneous things do I have? I've got a very bare house. It's only when I have visitors I realise this. Let's have a look. There was the giant diamond. Huge diamond, there we go. So that would look pretty almost anywhere. Yeah, that'd be nice to have in the house. I think we had the dual archery club as well. Oh, maybe we could place it a bit better than that. There you go. Look at that. Oh, lovely. No, was there anything else? I don't think there were any other miscellaneous items. Although you could have picked up all of that paste stuff that's pretty much worthless. The Elven Silver Ingot. Yeah, we need to check out what that does. One thing we did have was the Easter egg. And let's have a look at what that does. So still got 2 of those left. It's restore health, damage, stamina, weakness to magic, fortify, enchanting. But interesting. Hello.
Divine smile on you, friend.
Where did you get your club? I think I need to.
Riverwood's agreeable enough, I suppose, for a Nord village.
You're not in Riverwood. Oh, he's annoying. So, what I was looking at was fortify enchanting. So the Easter egg does that, but let's have a look here. That enchants items stronger for 18%. But this is actually slightly better than that. That gives you something like 10% better. So if I put all my crafting stuff on, that would be 42, but that would be 46, which is quite a bit better. Now, if you know the trick of being in Solstheim, where is it? Secret of Shadows. So there's 3 different seeker skills that you can get through the black books, and you can only have one active at once. This one will increase your potion skills by 10%. One will increase your Seeker of Might, or something will increase your warrior skills, including smithing, and the magical one increases your enchanting skills. So you should always max it out by being over there in Solstheim when you're doing those activities. But you can easily make better crafting equipment by using your Easter egg to get you a higher percentage. And when you've done that, and when you feel you've got enough equipment, am I just then obviously you can think about improving your Elven Short Bow. There's only one Elven Silver Ingot in the game, so do it when you feel you're at your best. And so that's probably a question of taking a potion of fortified smithing, having gone through the crafting that you'll get from the Easter egg, because there is no enchanting buff as powerful as that. It's 1.2%, 1.2 times what the normal amount would be. But when you've buffed up your items as much as possible, and you've got the best potion of fortified smithing, you've got the best crafting gear on, then you can sit there and make your Elven Short Bow a little better. You'll never be able to enchant it, as it says there, it resists all enchantments. But you'll have a reasonably good, whilst exceptionally fast bow. Rather than just for target practice. To be able to use it in combat. Okay, I think that was everything. Oh, well, we've got the bloody books. They're just a bit of fun, really, and you can put that wherever you want in your house. Journals don't really tell us very much. Yeah, that's everything. Okay, lovely. I hope that's been of use to you. Sorry it's been such a long one. I'll try and put links in the Dark Oracle, so when you put a code in, you can jump to just the spot in the walkthrough where it's relevant, and you can see me getting that dark score point. Otherwise, all the best and enjoy the dark, and do please give as much feedback as you can. Thank you.